What if the most powerful empire in history never crumbled? Imagine a world where Roman legions still marched across continents, aqueducts still supplied vast cities, and the Latin language dominated every corner of the globe. Today we're going to unravel today's greatest what if. What if Rome never fell? Now, by the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire was the most powerful force on Earth. It stretched from the windswept moors of Britain to the deserts of North Africa, and from the Atlantic coast of Spain to the Euphrates River in the Middle East. Over 60 million people lived under its rule, a population unified by Roman law, language, and culture. Rome's engineers constructed roads, aqueducts, and amphitheaters that still inspire awe today. Its legions patrolled vast borders, enforcing the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace that lasted over 2 centuries. Trade routes connected distant corners of the empire, bringing spices, silk, and ideas to the heart of Rome. It was a world of order and ambition, but beneath this facade of strength, cracks were forming. Rome's decline didn't happen overnight. By the 3rd century, internal corruption, economic instability, and over-reliance on slave labor weakened its foundation. Emperors came and went, often violently, and the empire grew too fast to govern effectively. Barbarian tribes, once recruited into Roman armies, began to see the empire as vulnerable. The Goths, Vandals, and Huns all pushed against its borders, seeking land and wealth. By 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian split the empire in two, creating the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, which is later known as the Byzantine Empire. It was meant to ease administration, but it only hastened division. Fast forward to 476 AD, and the Western Empire was no more. The lands fractured into medieval kingdoms, but what if Rome had survived that chaos? Had Rome weathered its crisis, it would have emerged as a centralized superstate, perhaps resembling later empires like the British Empire. Imagine a world where Latin retained the dominant language and Roman laws shaped global governance. Without a collapse into feudalism, Europe might have bypassed the so-called Dark Ages altogether. Art, science, and engineering could have all continued to advance under Roman patronage. But surviving wasn't just about unity, it was about innovation. What might have changed? Well, Rome was already experimenting with inventions like steam-powered devices and water mills. With more time, could it have achieved an industrial revolution centuries earlier? Well, the Roman Empire's engineering marvels, roads, aqueducts, and concrete, set the foundation for modern infrastructure. Extending this legacy might have accelerated urbanization, sanitation, and even medical practices. But there's another possibility: stagnation. Rome's reliance on slavery discouraged technological progress. Without the need to replace human labor, would innovation have stalled? The survival of Rome might have delayed advances that we take for granted today. But at its height, Rome already controlled much of Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. But the lure of expansion was irresistible. Had Rome endured, its ambitions might have driven it to conquer even more territories. Imagine legions landing in India or forging alliances in China along the Silk Road. Trade routes might have transformed into Roman-dominated highways, binding continents together under one empire. With its naval prowess, Rome could have set its sights across the Atlantic, reaching the Americas centuries before Columbus. But the risks of overextension were ever present. Even at its peak, Rome struggled to secure its far-flung provinces. Revolts in Britain, invasions along the Rhine, and rebellions in Judea stretched its resources thin. Would a larger road have collapsed under its own weight? History offers some clues. Later empires like the British and Spanish experienced similar fates. They got overstretched, they had costly wars, and colonies demanded independence. If Rome had pushed beyond Europe, it may have fractured into rival territories resembling the Holy Roman Empire, leading to centuries of internal conflicts and shifting alliances. Yet, what if Rome adapted? With reforms such as granting local autonomy and strengthening infrastructure, the empires could have transformed into a more decentralized yet unified force, perhaps resembling modern federal states. A surviving Rome might not have been a monolithic power, but a network of interconnected regions united by trade, law, and military alliances. Christianity was a game changer for Rome. What began as a persecuted sect flourished into the empire's official religion by 380 AD. But this transformation, it wasn't without challenges. In a world where Rome endured, Christianity's dominance might have looked very different. Would emperors have continued to control the church, shaping doctrine to fit imperial policies? Or could conflicts between traditional Roman polytheism and Christianity have erupted into civil wars? A lasting Rome might have preserved pagan practices alongside Christianity, leading to a hybrid religious culture. Imagine temples to Jupiter standing next to a Christian basilica, with Christians celebrating both festivals. Alternatively, the church's rise as a political power might have been curtailed. The Pope's authority emerged partly because Rome's collapse left a power vacuum. A surviving empire could have kept religious leaders subordinate to the state, altering the balance of power between church and government. Without the medieval church's dominance, the Crusades might never have occurred, leaving the Middle East untouched by European conquests. Or perhaps religious divisions within the empire, between Arians, Catholics, and pagans, could have triggered internal strife, accelerating Rome's decline. Rome's legions were the gold standard of ancient warfare. Disciplined, organized, and adaptable, they conquered vast territories. But what if Rome had endured? Its military strategies might have evolved dramatically. Imagine Roman engineers developing gunpowder weapons long before the Renaissance, reshaping warfare as we know it. Could Rome have fielded armored legions equipped with cannons and muskets, or perhaps a navy of ironclad ships patrolling global trade routes? Yet, Rome's survival might also have meant endless wars of expansion. Instead of stability, the world may have witnessed centuries of conflict as Rome fought to keep its territories intact. Civil wars might have erupted as generals vied for power, leading to fragmentation despite survival. Alternatively, Rome could have focused on diplomacy, establishing vassal states rather than outright conquests. The impact of warfare could have been profound. The medieval concept of chivalry may never have emerged, replaced by professional armies modeled on Roman legions. Castles and fortresses might have been obsolete, giving way to sprawling Roman-style cities protected by standing armies. Now, even though the Roman Empire fell, its influence never truly disappeared. Its laws became the foundation of modern legal systems. Its roads paved the way, literally, for modern highways. Latin-shaped languages like Spanish, French, and Italian. Now, in many ways, Rome's heirs lived on. The Byzantine Empire lasted until 1453, and the Holy Roman Empire carried its name for nearly 1,000 years. Even America's founding fathers drew inspiration from Roman governance, modeling the U.S. Senate after Rome's own. Rome may have fallen, but its shadow, it still looms large. But what could have been? So what if Rome never fell? Will we live in a united world under Roman rule, enjoying centuries of stability and innovation? Or would we be trapped in an empire that stifled progress and crushed dissent? The survival of Rome presents endless possibilities, a world of towering aqueducts, grand amphitheaters, and unstoppable legions. Or will we live in a world ruled by emperors that were clinging to power as rebellions raged? What do you think? Would the world be better or worse if Rome had endured? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed exploring this alternate history, be sure to like and subscribe for more journeys through time. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on mapping the past.